Shortly before 1 p.m. on Tuesday, an accident occurred during the 7th stage of the Africa Eco Race. During takeoff, for a technical reason still unknown, one of the organisation's light aircraft was blown off course by a gust of wind and collided with a truck positioned to refuel the competitors. A motorcyclist was seriously injured in the accident. The injured party is the Italian rider Andrea Perfetti, who was immediately attended to by emergency services and then transported to the military hospital in Nouakchott. The mobilisation of the safety helicopters forced the race management to neutralise the race at kilometre 241 for the bikes and 50 for the cars. The accident happened during a day when the competitors were underway in the Mauritanian dunes, dealing with demanding navigation in the stifling heat and high winds. In the end, 241 of timed sector between Benishab and Amoujar. Guillem Martinez Boronat came in first rookie rider by a Turbis for riders under 35 who have not done a rally longer than 8 days. He finished 5th despite the challenges. The first 50 kilometres of dunes were so soft. I don't know what happened, but the shock mount came undone. I didn't have any shock absorbers until the refuelling point. To go faster, I held it all with my hands. I couldn't feel my arms. I managed to unscrew the bolts on the other side and I fixed it, because the track ahead of us was really bumpy, so I was lucky to have fixed it. This morning, there were 64 riders on the start line. Nicolas Charlier left in 40th place, but he pushed hard and reached the fueling point in 10th. The Belgian rider found it the most difficult stage so far, but loved the wide open spaces and finished 4th today. For me, it was one of the hardest stages of the rally. We started in the dunes, very soft sand. I fell once. I really had to pay attention because it's sort of moving sand where the bike suddenly falls. For several kilometres. And then we come to a rocky plateau. The nav was very difficult. After the dunes, the tracks were spaced out and the roadbook didn't match at all. There were bikes all over the place. Then another stretch of soft dunes. It was really physical. The longer he is here, the better he's getting. After a 36-hour journey from Australia to get to the start line, the jet lag has worn off for Scott Britnell, who, despite some trouble in the dunes, finished 3rd and first Motul Extreme rider. Yesterday, Alessandro Botturi won his 3rd stage of the edition and his 15th in the Africa Eco Race. So today, the Italian opened the track. The navigation was very difficult and the official Yamaha finished 2nd today. The day was really difficult with lots of navigation. The track was not very visible. I made a lot of mistakes all day. But I still managed to finish the stage and I'm happy. Performance of the day belongs to the defending champion. He started back in 25th place and despite the crazy high winds, Jacopo Cerruti really put his foot down. He arrived completely exhausted and took a good while to recover at the finish line. It was really tough for me today. I was ill last night. I didn't manage to eat or drink at all during the stage. I have finished really tired. I'm happy to finish, and tomorrow's another day. In the rankings today, victory for Cerruti in 2 hours, 51 minutes and 54 ahead of Botturi, and Britnell in 3rd. 4th place for Nicolas Charlier. In the GC, Botturi keeps his lead but concedes 9 minutes to Cerruti, who is now only 6:53 behind. Guillaume Bourne is 3rd. In the car truck SSV category, we find 3 SSVs in the top 5. Last year, Philippe Champigny finished second of the SSVs. This year, he's aiming for the top spot amongst the very light, very fun vehicles. It's a really great vehicle to drive. It's also a really affordable vehicle for, let's say, the man in the street. The basic price is 35,000 euros, while the factory cars are more than 400 to 500,000, sometimes more. The role of the mechanic is to do a complete check of the vehicle when it comes back to bivouac in the evening. There are always issues, unexpected broken parts, etc., because this is a rally raid. Mechanically, it's pretty simple for the SSVs. They're quite reliable, more just regular maintenance than big things, which is handy for us when we want to go to bed early. This is an X3 model with a bit more than 200 horsepower. You can choose 2 or 4-wheel drive, often though it's in permanent 4-wheel drive. I come from enduro bikes. I've been competing on bikes for 32 years. I've had multiple fractures. I had to step away from the bike because I just can't break anything else. That's why I went to SSVs. You get the same sort of feeling, and I just love it. It's great. Philippe Champigny finished third today, only 2 minutes 47 from the leader of the GC. No win today for Benoît-Fretin, and he found the start of the stage very challenging, losing some time but still finishing the day in second. First 50k were hellish. There were dunes everywhere, camel grass 2 meters high. It took us an hour to do the first 40k. After that, it was more rolling. Nicer. At the refuel point, we had quite a lot of time over everyone except one SSV. We were the first of the cars at the refueling. We didn't see anyone for 20 minutes. And for the second time this edition, the stage victory belonged to Pierre Lafay, who put a second SSV in the top 3. It was a day for the fast little vehicles, getting up to speeds of 140 kilometers an hour. It was very technical at the beginning, sandy, very pretty. There were difficult sections with camel grass. We were really careful with the car. We passed zones with dunes, small dunes, beautiful. Next, we went over the fast tracks. Then I was a bit frustrated because I thought we were heading back into a tough section of dunes. I was a bit surprised from what we heard in the briefing and what I read in the book. It was beautiful anyway, incredible scenery and long, less interesting stretches, but beautiful. We drove safely, then we got lost a bit. That's the first time, twice. They weren't so bad though. We found the route again calmly. Quick look at the rankings, and victory today for Pierre Lafay with 2 minutes 15 over Benoît-Fretin. Philippe Champigny makes it France 1, 2 and 3. Positions 4 to 7 are all Dutch. In the GC, Benoît-Fretin keeps his lead with now over 4 hours from Van den Broek. Only 8 seconds behind him though is Pierre Lafay, all to play for in the SSVs. In the historic category, there are 3 all-female teams, one of which is number 338, currently sitting 4th in the GC. Hélène Grandturie and Séverine Arnaud are 2 massive rally raid fans, but they're having a bit of a tough time as they are facing an opponent they were not expecting. We caught a virus at the beginning of the rally and we've had a fever for 5 days. We've lost our voices. Thankfully, our mics are turned on in our helmets so we can hear each other. We're still battling through, though. Their joy at being the start line is fortifying them at the wheel of their Toyota, whose number 338 is no accident. I'm from Isère in France. My team is Rose 38. In the 20 years I've been doing rallies, I've always tried to have the number 38 somewhere to honour my sponsors. We were able to have 338 this year, so that's great. And as psychological support for the adventure, the two women have been able to call on a 30-time Dakar competitor and winner of 1993. Yes, Bruno Sabi. He's from Grenoble, near me. He's been with us since the beginning. He coaches us and he helps us. Today, Hélène and Séverine finished fourth. Kurt Dujardin was second after 2 ZRs, one of 65 and the other of 165 kilometres. These are the longest in the history of regularity rallies. Eric and Tom Clays are once again at the top of the rankings today. The defending champions are absolutely flying. This is their 6th win since the start of the rally. Today's ranking in the historic stage shows Eric and Tom Clays back on the top of the podium with Kurt Dujardin in 2nd. Maurizio Elia was 5th. In the GC, Eric Clays keeps his lead with 1,194 points over Kurt Dujardin. Fabrice and Magali Morin complete the top 3. That's it for today. Tomorrow is stage 8 and will be a brand new loop out to the magnificent Adrar Plateau. The competitors will take on 351 kilometres of special stage out from Amajar and back to Amajar. Bye-bye.